Good afternoon to everyone. Then I sent you. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Can you hear me well, or I should use the microphone?
We hear you well.
Good. So if there are problems, you tell me, and then I will use the microphone. Okay. Okay. I was saying that I sent you a document that is handout. Did you receive it?
Yes.
Yes.
So you choose a topic. Then you choose a topic, okay? And then for next seminar, not the first one, but the second should be the 6th, no? The 6th of October. Then you prepare a presentation and also a small essay, I don't know, 1 or 2 pages about any topic that you like. So you pick up a topic and then you prepare a short essay, and also a small presentation. The presentation should be about 5-10 minutes maximum.
And what are the requirements for that essay? I mean, word count or symbol count?
Sorry?
What are the formal requirements for that essay?
There are no formal requirements. You have to prepare, you decide what is the topic that you like, and then you explain, first of all, what is about. So you describe the problem, you describe the framework, and then you decide to show something that you find interesting. For example, you can select specific model, you can select a case study, you can select an example, whatever you like. You are free to decide what you want to show. Okay?
And what about charts, formulas, and everything like that? Should we include them, or should it be standard text?
Whatever you like. You are free.
And about topic, so how narrow should it be, or how broad?
Again,
should it
it's
be a
up to
topic
you.
or research question?
You select a topic. About derivatives, I sent you a handout. You have different topics there, and you develop what you like in the way you like. But of course, it should be something that has a meaning. For example, meaningful in the same. For example, you cannot say I selected this topic and then you talk about something else. So you cannot say I want to discuss this formula and then you don't discuss it and so on. So it should be something that has a meaning, that is not copy and paste from something else, and that has that shows that you have some ideas about that topic. See what I mean?
Yes, it is.
You are free, but of course, you must be consistent. You must have a sense. That's it. You must make sense. There is no. There are no bounds apart from the fact that it should make sense. Yes.
Sorry, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
The first is again, we should write an essay and create a presentation to the 6th of October. Yes?
Correct.
And the second question, can we work in small groups or we should do it individually?
No, individually.
Okay, thank you.
So
Isn't it the task that we were?
Let's say it should be just 1 or 2 pages. You can do it by yourself. It's not a big deal. No, it's not a project. Sorry, who was asking questions?
yeah, so on the 6th of October, we present our presentation, and before that, we send you our, I don't know, essay or report and the slides of our presentation, right?
Correct.
Okay.
You can send it. We have this the seminar in the afternoon, so do it before the class.
Excuse me, maybe I misheard, but are we supposed to choose the topic from somewhere about derivatives, or can it be?
Yeah, it must be about derivatives. I sent you a document. Select any topic that you like from that document, and then prepare an essay and a presentation.
Okay.
And again, presentation 5-10 minutes maximum, and the essay 1-2 pages. Something short.
Can I just clarify one thing?
Yeah.
Should presentation be 1-2 pages, or our report should also be 1-2 pages in total?
But the presentation should be, I said, 5-10 minutes. So these are how many slides you can prepare. You can present in 5-10 minutes.
And the report should be about 2-3 pages, yeah?
No, 1-2.
Okay. 2 is the maximum, yeah? Not
yes.
more.
Because I just want to know what you got about, understood about the topic. And how you are able to put together a couple of sentences. Additional questions?
And isn't it the task that we were supposed to, not supposed to, but that we were allowed to do in pairs? I mean, the one that you told was supposed to be given to us 1 week before the end of the course, or is it something else?
This is something else.
Okay.
And is that project still required?
Yeah. Yes.
And it may not be about, might be not about derivatives, right?
Well, it's still about what we are discussing. So, for example, the project could be that I ask you to prepare something about, model regarding swaps, something like this, and you can do it with other people, and then would be more than 1-2 pages. Additional questions? No questions?
No questions.
Okay, so Today I will present something different about derivatives. See if I can do it. Okay, so it's done. Understand. Arina, do you have questions?
No, I don't.
So everything is fine? Yes?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so again, let me start again. Okay, so we want to know the different kind of derivatives, and so, for example, call and put options and the foundation for regulation. Then we want to understand the way in which those derivatives are used by managers, fund managers, or kind of investors, sorry, and then also how they could help in improving the performance and reduce the risk. And then we would like to know what are the major risk and reward by using the derivatives, and then what are the possible implications in terms of regulation and participation to the sense that following best international practice. And then we would like to discuss critical issues for the use of derivatives. So then I guess that you already know about the derivatives, how to price, for example, put to a call according to the British rules formula. So why we have a derivative market? Why we like to have derivatives? Well, we already explored this kind of topic in the previous class, and we mentioned that the derivatives may be useful as a hedging, for hedging, as well as for enhancing the performance of given investor. So the meaning of derivative means that those instruments are derived from underlying asset, and then they may attract the more investors to the market if they are available. And then why? Because investors see opportunities to participate, and also, as I said, also to hedge for given position. So for this reason, the countries, the nations that have this kind of derivatives, this kind of instruments, they could be more competitive in terms of financially speaking. But then they present challenges in terms of regulation, supervision, implementation, and so on. So regarding market supervisory participants, the basic rules and types of derivatives are the ones that we are going to mention. So first of all, we need to, there is a requirement for training, education, for to determine what are the customer needs. Then there is the need to ensure infrastructure in case we want to meet the requirements. For example, we already mentioned this, central counterparty, clearinghouse, and CCP. I guess that we already mentioned this when we had this discussion. Do you remember what is a clearinghouse?
Excuse me, did you send us this file?
No, I'm going to send it after this class.
Maybe now should be better because we can sometimes barely read the words. It's too blurry. So
Let me see in this way.
we have it blurry.
This way?
Still the same.
This way? Still bad?
It's blurry, but now
Better.
it's larger and better. Yes.
Let me see another way. Let me see. This way?
It's better, but the quality is still the same. But the words are larger. Yes.
Better? Think?
Words are larger, quality is the same, but we can read it now.
I don't know, because this thing that about the connection is a big problem, because it's strange. I have 200 megabit, and you cannot understand, you cannot read. This is bad. So let's go back. Just a recap. So we said there are different kind of derivatives. Then why we want derivatives in the market, because they could be used for management, for investments. So in order to improve performance and reduce risk. So like any other investment, like any other investment tool, then what is the key is to understand the risk reward for using derivatives. And then there are critical consideration regarding derivatives in terms of regulation and market participants. And we have seen that when we did the last time, we have seen a couple of examples when we did our class last time. And then I guess that you already know how how to price a call or a put because you already studied Black-Scholes formula, correct? Did you study Black-Scholes formula?
Guess so.
Sorry, is yes or is no?
I think so.
Okay.
We know what is about, but we didn't work with it too much time.
Okay, you didn't. Okay, so next class, we have a seminar. We will do Black-Scholes. Do you have Excel?
What is the question?
Excel.
Yes, we do.
Microsoft Excel. So
Yes.
next seminar will be dedicated to Black-Scholes. How to price security call, and the put is the opposite with Black-Scholes. I didn't know this. That's why at the beginning I asked what you wanted to learn and what was your background. Okay, anyhow, good that you told me this. Okay. So we said that derivatives are just another tool for financial managers and investors. Then why they are called in this way derivative? Because those instruments are derived from the underlying assets. So the value of those instruments depends on something different that is called underlying. And the examples are, for example, indices or shares, stocks. So, and why we need the derivatives, also because they increase the tool, the financial instruments available to investors, and that increase the opportunities, but also is a challenge in terms of regulation, supervision, implementation. So then, what is the point? So training in order to understand those instruments, but also if you have those instruments, but also the need to ensure that there is that some infrastructure in place. So, for example, the central counterparty in clearinghouse. Do you remember what is a clearinghouse? A central counterparty clearinghouse. We discussed this last time. Do you remember that?
Not really.
Okay. So if there is a transaction between two people, and this transaction is about a security that is traded in a regulated exchange, Then you remember what happens.
Well, everybody in this stock exchange
Regulated, I think, regulated.
yes.
Yes, go ahead.
So this deal is observed by the regulator, and if something goes wrong, the regulator can take some measures.
So, well, this is one answer, but not exactly. I'm talking about the risk. So let's say that you want to buy from me a security. And then we exchange this security, not hand to hand, not personally, but through a regulated market. Do you remember what happens? Or do you know what happens? Because what is the risk there if we exchange something?
Regarding the risk should be lower.
And why?
Because there is a mediator and also the regulator in one phase.
Okay, the risk is that if you want to buy from me, you can default or I can default. And what is the default? Your default is that you don't give me the money. And my default is that I don't give you the security. Is that clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay, what happens if the exchange happens through a regulated market? You don't give the money directly to me, but you pay the bank, and the bank, your intermediary, and the bank gives this money to the exchange. And regarding me, I don't give you directly the security, but I give it to the bank, and the bank provides this to the market. It's clear what I mean? So
yes,
there is an exchange. The exchange happens only when from one side there is money, and from the other side there is the security.
yes, and the existence of a regulator lowers the chance of the fraud. Well, of
Yeah,
the default based on fraud.
no, the regulator is another matter. I'm talking about the market. The regulator is someone that is supervising, but the market is another matter. The market is the subject, the one that makes sure that when there is an exchange, from one side there is the security, and from the other side there is the money. It's clear?
Yes.
Okay. So in this case, there is no counterparty risk because there is. We are always sure that when there is exchange on the market, then both parties will get what they want. In my case, I will get the money, and in your case, you will get the security. Okay. Having said that, then there are cases in which there is no regulated market, that the transactions are made over the counter. And most of the derivatives, most of bonds are traded over the counter. It means that there is no regulated exchange. And this means that there is the possibility that there will be a default, either from the one that should provide the security or from the one that should provide the money. It's clear what I mean?
Yes.
Okay. And then in this case, there are central counterparty clearinghouse that are meant to reduce the counterparty risk, because if there is a credit and debt, they do the offset. What is the meaning of this offset? So let's say that I have to pay 100 because I bought a security. And let's say that I have to get 200. If the two transactions are separated, it could be that there is a default on both parties, and then I will not get anything. So my exposure will be of 300. It's clear what I mean? I have two transactions. If there is no clearing, if there is no offset, I am exposed for 100 regarding one contract and for 200 regarding another contract.
Yes, it is clear.
If there is a clearing, if there is an offset, then my exposure would be reduced, because I can net the two positions. So for this reason, again, central counterparty clearinghouse are those institutions that may provide clearing, and through the clearing can setting, as I said, and through that I can reduce my exposure, total exposure. And also they may act in the way that I said regarding the regulated market, but not always. They are essentially meant to reduce the exposure, to make the clearing, and to offset the balance. So the credit with the debit. Okay, so let's go ahead. If this is clear, let's move forward. Okay, so there is a legal framework, then is regarding off-balance sheet. Why off-balance sheet? Because normally a company has the balance sheet has assets and liabilities. And if we buy a derivative call, for example, and what we have in the balance sheet, we have the cost of this call. But if for any reason, a future, for example, if for any reason the market doesn't go well, we are exposed to a greater risk of what we can see from the price of this security, because derivatives are a way to expand, to increase our exposure to the market. And then it could be that we spent, I don't know, 10 euro for buying a derivative, but one matter is the cost of this security, another matter is the commitment, is how much we are risking. And this is not, cannot be seen on the balance sheet, but because on the balance sheet you have just assets and liabilities, and you don't know from the balance sheet what is your exposure at risk. So that's why this is called off balance sheet. So regarding the underlying asset, for example, the Standard & Poor's 500, then you need valuation capabilities, because it's what we said, and you have to know what is the risk that you are facing. Then the technology, and then you need to know whether the market is working continuously or in other ways. For example, we have seen coal market, auction market, and so on. Then the collateral management. Do you know what is the collateral? Do you remember that? I guess that we already mentioned it.
Some kind of extra.
So for example, we said that when we buy a derivative, then one matter is how much we pay, another matter is how much we risk. And this risk, if we pay, for example, as I said, 10 euro, it's not true that we risk 10 euro. It could be that we risk 1,000 euro. And then what happens? That we need to post collateral to cover that risk. And this collateral can be cash or can be risk-free security, for example. And a risk-free security could be treasury. So T-bond, T-bill, whatever. So that collateral, again, is meant to protect the counterparty, because every time that we enter in a deal, especially regarding derivatives, there is one side that could be the buyer and the other side that could be the seller. So the one that is bearing the risk has the duty also to post a collateral to protect the counterparty against that risk. It's clear what I mean?
So instead of let's say that we own 100 euros. So instead of spending all 100 on some risky derivatives, we spend some on risky derivatives and some on treasury bonds, right? That's the idea. So to not to make risk too big.
I'm going to explain this better. So let's say that with 10 euro, we bought a derivative. And then if the market goes up, we lose 100 euro. And if the market goes down, we gain 100 euro. It's clear?
Okay.
Then what happens? If we lose 100 euro, we need to give 100 euro to the counterparty. And then we can default. So the counterparty, when we enter in this deal, will ask from us a collateral. A collateral, it means that this money, this bond, is still ours, but in case we lose 100 euro, this money, this bond will be possessed by the counterparty.
Okay.
This is a security, a collateral is a security for the counterparty in case we are losing money and we cannot pay for it. So it's a protection. And then regarding your daily experience, you can think that the collateral, when you enter in a mortgage, the collateral is the apartment. If you cannot pay the mortgage, then the bank can repossess your apartment. It's clear? So it's similar. The idea is similar. But in this case, you don't post as a collateral an apartment, but you post as a collateral, as I said, a safe asset. Okay. Collateral management and then market operation rules, exchange rule book, and so on. So you need to have all this in place, plus risk management, compliance. Do you know what is a compliance? Daria?
I think compliance is when someone honors the agreement.
No, compliance, you are right, but in general is what you said. But there are, when we talk about compliance in markets, is about the fact that there are rules and regulations, and then there is someone that is tasked to make sure that those rules are respected. So, for example, we mentioned before collaterals. If it's stated the kind of collateral that are possible for, and then we mentioned before T-bills, no? There is someone, an office or whatever, that is making sure that as a collateral is posted a safe asset, a T-bill, and not something else. And compliance can be also about other things, like sanctions or whatever. So compliance is to make sure that all rules and regulations are fulfilled. It's clear?
Yes.
Okay, now let's like this. Okay, so there are different kinds of risks. Financial risk, that could be regarding sovereign and quasi-sovereign, and then private sector issuers, we already seen this. And then financial instruments that can be domestic sovereign debt, senior debt, subordinated debt. Do you know what is the difference between senior debt and subordinated debt?
No.
Who said that?
Me.
Sorry?
I said that.
Ah, okay. Okay, so senior is when the company issues some debt, and then you know, in case of bankruptcy, the first that should be paid are the creditors. You know this. But then subordinated debt, it could be that in case of bankruptcy, there are conditions about who is going to pay and when. So, for example, clause can say, first we pay all the creditors that are senior, and then if there is some money left, we will pay the creditors of subordinated debt. Maria, is clear what you said?
Yeah.
And then why you have this kind of instruments? Why you want to buy senior debt or subordinated debt? Like in in all cases, when you have less risk, you have less reward. You earn less. So the difference between the two is that you risk more in one case, but you may have higher interest rate as a return. Okay. And then it's always a trade-off, what you want to risk and what you want to get as a return. clear?
Yes.
So, and then we have different kind of risk, from interest rate to credit. And then we have equity. This is the middle when it's both credit and equity. And then here we have derivatives, well, future options and swaps. Do you know the difference between future options and swaps?
I guess we are familiar with futures, with options, but with swaps, not really.
Okay, so regarding swaps, is when you exchange a fixed rate against a variable rate. So let me make an example. For we say that regarding an amount of 100,000 rubles, you pay a fixed rate at 5%. And that is that a variable rate depending on the market condition, on the interbank rate, the interbank market. So what is the advantage for you? The advantage is that you pay always a given amount. Always.
Always what?
So a given amount. I don't know, for example, 5%. In your case, the interest is fixed forever, for all the contract, at the time of the contract, until maturity. And so your advantage is that you don't pay. You know in advance how much you pay, and there is no change about that. My advantage could be that I pay, for example, in this moment, the interbank rate is 3%. So you pay 5%, I pay 3%. And what is the risk for me, Anton?
What about what risk just did you say? You answered me. You asked me.
No, it's a question. What is the risk for me? Because I pay a variable interest rate. And in this moment, Nick is paying 5%, I pay 3%. And what would be the risk for me?
I can't answer your question, but I believe that swaps are financial instruments that help two or more firms in the process. For example, one firm has a fixed
Yeah, but we are seeing this. That's fine, but what is the risk for me? What you said is right, but what is the risk for me? That I pay
maybe that you pay more than you can pay it, so you don't save assets.
Anton, let me repeat and then I will explain. Nick is paying always 5%. In my case, I pay a variable interest rate. So now the interest rate is 3%. But it could be what? That in future, the interest rate will go much higher, will be much higher than 5%. That is the risk for me. Because it could be that it will go down, but it could be also that it will go up. So the risk for me is that, again, Now I pay 3%, but in future it could be that I pay 10%, 100%. We don't know. Of course, is a matter of probability as well. You have two variables. No, one is how much you have to pay. Another matter is the likelihood that the interest rate will go from 3% to 50%, 100%, whatever. So the idea is that there are people that want to pay a fixed interest rate, and there are people that want to pay a variable interest rate. And they swap, so they change again something variable into something fixed. Okay.
And then they divide their profit from this process between
No,
themselves?
there is someone that will get, like in all deals, there is someone that will make money, and another party, the counterparty, that will have a loss.
Mm.
So, in a seminar, I will show you how to compute the two sides. I will show you how to make a spreadsheet about the swaps. Okay. So it's clear to everyone what is a swap? It's clear for you?
Yes.
So, again, there are two sides, no? Okay, so then the create derivatives that are derivatives linked to the likelihood that someone will default. And then the last one is about markets. So we said that there are organized markets and there are the counter markets. And then we already mentioned what are the advantages and disadvantages. So let's make an example about a call. Not a call, sorry. First, we start with a stock. What happens? Let's see that we own this security. We bought this security at 28 and 51. So what can happen to us? There are two options. One is that the security will go up. And the second option is the security will go down. So how much maximum we can lose?
28.51.
Exactly. That is the maximum that we can lose. So, but it could be also the opposite, that we are short about that security. Sorry. And then, again, if we are short, we are going to lose unlimited money. In case the security goes up, sorry, because we are short, it means that we have a negative position. We have unlimited loss. So let's say the two different kind of derivatives. One is a future, and the other one is the option. And the main difference between them is that in a case regarding the futures, you have the obligation to sell or buy. Regarding the option, you have no obligations, but you have the right to sell or buy. So in this case, you are forced to execute the contract. In this case, you are not forced, but is the one that is buying the option that can exercise that or not. Well, you can read this by yourself. You don't need me. What time we have the break?
In 14 minutes.
14?
Yes.
Okay, good. 14. Okay. So, thank you. So regarding
Yes.
the future, so when we buy, we are long. If we sell, we are short. And then what must be specified? So we must specify the quantity, the kind of asset, so the underlying. We must specify the date, and we must specify also the price. Well, this is something you can read by yourself. So what happens? Yeah. Let's say that you are bullish. Do you know the meaning of bullish?
No.
What? It's an adjective from bull.
Correct. Bullish means that you are positive about the future performance of the market. So often on the market is said bull market or bear market, and bear is the opposite of bull. It means that the market is performing bad, that is losing money. It's clear? And bull is the opposite. So when the market is performing well, then you say that the market is in a bull state. And then if you think that the market is going to perform well, then it's said that you are bullish. And the opposite, if you think that the market is going to perform bad, it means that you are bearish. And here there is an example about the margin requirements. If you remember, we mentioned margin requirements because we said that we must ensure that the counterparty is protected against our possible default. So one thing that we mentioned before is is to post a security as a protection, no? And regarding derivatives, not only you have this, but also you have the so-called margin calls. It could be that when you earn money, the counterparty that is losing money has to pay you for until the expiration a part that is given by the appreciation of the market. In this case, for example, we said that we are bullish. We bought a security derivative at 20, and then there is an increase of the value of this security. So the counterparty that has sold us this security has to pay when there is a 25% market value increase, has to pay given margin, and this margin is 5. So the contract is still existing, is not expired, but the counterparty has to pay after an increase for us of the value of this share, has to pay us $5. And there, of course, will be the opposite. So in case there is a decrease of 25%, then we have to pay to the counterparty the margin. And it's clear what I mean by margin. Is a way to avoid to accumulate too much losses. So every time that there is a given increase in the value of the underlying, the counterparty that is losing money has to pay in this case is called the closeout offset. So has to pay $5. This is if the counterparty is not able to do that, the contract will be closed and the counterparty will default. It's clear what I mean?
Could you
Yes.
please repeat the main ideas? So they are what trying to reduce each other losses.
Nick, let's say that you have this security, and from 20 you bought it at 20, okay? And
Okay.
then this security goes to 1,000. Then the counterparty is exposed for a very big amount. So to avoid that you lose all the money because the counterparty maybe will default, there are steps. And these steps, if, for example, is in this case is 25%. So every $5, or every, in this case, 25%, that the counterparty will lose should be paid immediately. And this prevents that by the end of the contract, you will have a very huge loss because the counterparty is not able to default, to fulfill its obligations, so it's defaulting. So there are those are intermediate steps in order for you to minimize the loss if the counterparty will default.
So
Yes?
when the price goes up,
You will
and-
get $5.
yeah.
Example.
So for each $100 rise, right?
No, we said 25%.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
So you will get $5. And then if the counterparty defaults, your risk is just $5.
Okay.
But on the other side, it's required that when you enter in a negotiation in these kind of deals, is required by the regulator, the bank, and so on, that you have $5 on your bank account. So it could be that the counterparty defaults, but somehow you are ensured that you have those $5. What is the problem? It could be that the jump is more than 25%, no? And then in the case that the jump is, I don't know, from 20 to 26, the counterparty has $5 on the account, but not more than $5. So you lose in this case $1 because you get the $5 that the counterparty has on the bank account, but for the remaining $1, there is no there is no cash, and the counterparty is defaulting. So this is a way again to reduce the risk from both sides. For you, that you get you should get this $5 if the market goes up, and from your counterparty that should get $5 if the market goes down, because also you have to post a margin. It's
Okay.
clear.
Yes,
It's
it is
clear
now.
to everyone.
So it's some kind of insurance. Well,
Is a protection.
yes, okay.
Is a protection against default, because default is always something possible. So what happens if you default? Then all your positions will be closed immediately, and this avoids to increase the possible losses. Okay. So we mentioned the case in which we said bullish, but it could be also the opposite. So if we are short, we sell the future at this price, and then if the security, the price of the security goes down, then we'll make a profit. Otherwise, if we are short, we are exposed to unlimited loss. So this is equal but opposite, and then let's make let's specify that the derivatives derive their value from the value of the underlying. We said that, but also what the peculiar thing about derivative is that there is a leverage. And what is the meaning of leverage? That in reality, what you earn or what you lose is not based on a single security, on the value of a single value security, but is based on the value of a given amount of securities. So, for example, it could be that derivative is based on the price of that security times 100, times 1000, times 300. So that is the leverage. That is called the leverage. So when you gain money or you lose money, is not based on the value of a single security, but is based on the leverage. So how much you have to multiply the increase of the loss of the underlying. Is this clear?
Yes.
And why is it done this way? So why do they why are they sold in big bags? Let's say so. So why in great amounts?
Why we have leverage?
Yes. So why not, I don't know, one or two shares?
Yeah, because in this way is more practical, because you don't want to invest just in one security. And then what you have to do, you have to buy, I don't know, 1,000 derivatives if you want to invest in 1,000 securities. If you instead you know that with one derivative you have as an underlying 1,000 securities, then you buy just one.
Okay.
So it's more practical, but on the other side, you bear a higher risk. That's why if you buy a security, let's say that the example that we have made before, you spend 20. If you buy 1,000 securities, you have to multiply 20 times 1,000. And then you have the risk in one case for one security, in the other case for 1,000 security. Okay? But if you have a derivative, then you are exposed to 1,000 securities. So that's why, what I said before, you have a off-balance sheet exposure, because your exposure in reality is not regarding the market increase or decrease of just one security, but is about the market increase or market decrease of one security times 100, times 1,000, times whatever. So that is off balance sheet. You cannot see it in the balance sheet. That's why, again, you need rules, regulation, whatever, in order to represent correctly this exposure.
Okay.
So, do we have 8 minutes still?
Yes.
Okay, and then we said that we need to have a margin and collateral account. And the margin, we said, is the example that we made before is $5, for example. No? And then what happens? Well, we said that we have a security. And then if we don't want to sell the security, but we are concerned about the fact that the market will go down, then we can cover this. We can cover from the share from a price fall, no? And what we should do in this case?
We buy either long share and short, maybe. But I have a question about this. How can we earn money, so get profit from buying and short and long?
Yeah, sure. So here, the blue is the fact that you have a security, no? In this case, the example is Microsoft, but whatever, no? So if you have the security that is, and the value is 20 here, for example, then you make money when it goes down, up, and you lose money when the security goes down. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. What happens then? Let's say that instead you are short future. What happens? That in case the security goes up, you make money with the share. Okay? Because again, you have the security. But on the other side, you are short. So what happens? You make money on the share, but you lose money with the future. Anton, it's clear?
Yes, it's clear, but I can't understand. Maybe this picture is only for our learning and understanding the whole process.
No, this is exactly for the process and for you to learn. So
I can't understand why should we bought. Why maybe it would better for us if we don't take part in buying long share and short future, because we
Anton, let's say that you have a security, and you are interested in Microsoft, okay? But then you want to have Microsoft because you believe that this company in future will be very good. But from now to next month, from now to next 3 months, you are worried about what can happen. But you don't want to sell your security. You want to have your security, but you don't want to sell it. You want to have exposure into this company, but you have also a risk. So what is your objective? Your objective is, in this case, is to reduce your risk. So to hedge against a loss. It's clear what I mean?
Yes, so you mean that we can buy, for example, short future for smaller period of time?
1 month,
And,
for example, 3 months. And from now to 1 month, from now to 3 months, you are protected.
But wouldn't it be just easier to sell our stock and to buy it in 3 months?
No, because, for example, in 3 months, it could be that you are bearish or you are bullish. So you may change your opinion about the stock. And then another example, it could be that you want to have voting rights. You want to be invested in this company. So for you, the problem is only to solve is from now to next 1 month to 3 months.
Okay.
It's clear?
Yes, it is.
You have no positions. You are neutral. You don't know if the market will go up or if the market will go down. You want to be invested, but you don't want to have the risk.
Okay.
And this is also common for funds that are that invest in national funds that invest in some companies. They want to own some companies, but they don't want to have the risk of that. For them, what is important is to own the company, not to make money from now to next month. They want to own the company. They want to be exposed to that company. But they don't want the risk. Okay, so what happens in this case? You have this company, you own this company, you have a security rating, and then you are long. So what happens if the security goes up, you have a profit, but if the security goes down, you have a loss. So you see the blue one, Anton?
yes, I get it. Thank you.
And then you are short future. So what happens? That the money that you make in this case, if there is an increase on the share price, the money that you make here with the security is lost on the future. And the opposite. So the market that you make with the future is what you lose with the security. So you are market neutral. You don't have any risk. And then also regarding securities, Nick, I guess that before you mentioned why we have a leverage 1,300, whatever, no? You mentioned this. Nick?
I did.
When you buy a security on the market, normally you cannot buy. When you want to invest in a company, normally you cannot buy just one security. You know this. There are a given amount of securities, a given quantity of securities that you can buy. You cannot buy, if you want to invest in Microsoft, for example, you have to buy 100 Microsoft, 1,000 Microsoft. You cannot buy just one. So this is also something that is common, no? That's why if you buy securities, you have a given package, a given amount that you have to buy, and regarding derivatives, you have an exposure that is your leverage.
Okay.
So I guess that the class is ended now, no?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Can
so yeah, question.
Yes, I have a question about the case that we did last Thursday. What part of our final mark it belongs to? It's a part of classwork.
Yes, it is.
And also I have a question about our essay and presentation that we'll do to 6th of October. It is also our work in class, or it's that essay that weights 30%, and you mentioned it.
Yes, it will be part of the 30%.
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
Any additional questions? Okay, so I wish you a nice afternoon, and let's meet next time. What is it? The 29th, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
I have to. Then this seminar will be about Black and Scholes then, because you said that you didn't do it, you didn't practice it, no?
Can you repeat, please?
Black and Scholes, you said it.
Yes, we learned some information about it, but we didn't practice with it.
Yeah, so I will show you some examples. We will do it with Excel.
Okay.
Okay, all the best. Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.